3, 2, 1.
Buenos noches, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Not Another Sox Podcast. I'm Jack Webster here with Matt Galveo and Matt LeBeau. Fellas, believe it or not, we're still locked out. How you doing?
We are, in fact, still locked out, man. It is really depressing, this, and really not much going on right now. Especially now we're after the holidays, so we're getting closer to the spring training time, but hopefully that ends up being on time and we get the season underway. But we'll see. This is a big month. January is a big month. To see what happens. With the season here and in spring training. So the next few weeks are definitely going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, we had our own mini lockout.
Yeah.
Of our own. We haven't recorded a show probably in a little over, I think, 2 weeks, right? So that's probably been just about the longest stretch for us, but nice to have a little Christmas break. Again, not too much to talk about, but we're finding some things. Truck Day is coming up. It's right around the corner for all you perverts that celebrate that. All you sick, twisted Red Sox fans out there that celebrate a bunch of equipment going down to Fort Myers. That's coming up. So no, we're getting through it. Everyone's sick. It's the winter.
Yeah.
I think one of the funniest things I ever told my friend that kind of likes baseball, so he asked me a lot of questions about it. And when I remember telling him about Truck Day, and that people actually got excited for it and go to Fenway Park to see people load up the truck, he was an absolute awestruck that people actually gave a single shit about it.
If I didn't know anything about the Red Sox or Red Sox fans or anything like that, and I heard about Truck Day, I would be like, dude, you're in a cult. This is do you blink twice if you need help. This is insane. You guys watch a bunch of rubbed up baseballs, get on a truck, and then go down to Florida. That's literally absolutely bonkers. But yeah, that's Red Sox fans.
So I remember back in 2013, 2014, they had those vending machines at Fenway Park where if you tweeted about them, they would give you something.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I got from that vending machine was a little toy truck for Truck Day. And I had it on my desk at college for years and years. And I don't know where it's at now, sadly, but I will never forget that free gift from just another dumb tweet that nobody cared about.
You've had a lot of tweets in your day, Jack.
Well, yeah, I know. My Twitter is at 13 years old. It's going through adolescence. It's a very difficult time right now.
Twitter raised you, basically.
I think I raised Twitter.
Yep, the man behind the tweets.
I feel like I feel like this area, the Boston, the Red Sox area, is kind of just the only I don't know if it's the only city in the MLB that really celebrates Truck Day or any type of pre-spring training day this hard.
Yeah, it really is gross. I mean, we're a Patriots centric. People do weird things about the Patriots. Patriots fans don't even have a thing like that. That's comparable.
Yeah.
Training camp is normalized. I still think going to training camp's kind of tacky, kind of weird, but watching just a bunch of guys practice, I think it's good for kids because they can get autographs. But dude, Patriots fans don't even have a Truck Day thing.
Right.
It's wild.
No, I mean, it got so big at one point that they started coming to McCoy Stadium as a stop on Truck Day, so that people from Rhode Island like us could see Truck Day. Literally, the truck would stop there for 15 minutes, and people were able to take photos with it, and it was a whole opportunity just to sell more tickets. But it was absolutely wild.
No, you literally have to be a fucking pervert to enjoy that. You need to be on a watch list.
You need to be on an FBI list for sure.
100%.
That.
100%.
Jack, were you still working for the Paw Sox when like they had like the truck day like going by there?
That was one of my first days. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like day 4.
But what do they have you do? Just like take pictures of people?
They just had me at the like window in case anybody was looking to buy tickets, which they weren't because these are the diehards that already had Paw Sox season
Right.
tickets. So,
Yeah.
Sir, why are your pants off?
It's warm in here.
It's just a truck.
Doesn't like NESN like cover truck day? I'm pretty sure.
What else is on NESN in the off season?
Charlie Moore outdoors. Literally Charlie Moore.
The only time I watch Charlie Moore outdoors is when I lost a bet, and it's as bad as it looks.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever actually watched a full episode of Charlie Moore, but
there's just nothing like falling asleep after a 1:00 game on a Sunday, like taking a little nap, and you wake up like at 6, and you got the Sunday scaries, and you just hear fucking Charlie Moore just blasting in your ear, and you're like, dude, this needs to go. I need to just, and then it's just anxiety. It's like 60 minutes. It's like 60 minutes ticking. Like that's.
Exactly.
Do you think they pay him, or do you think they just let him do it for free?
So he's like a rich guy. That's like his thing. But I could easily see Charlie Moore being like, "No, yeah, you don't have to pay me anymore." Like if they cut him, he would be like, "I'll just do it for free. It's fine." I feel
how did Charlie Moore even get like his money? Like what is he? Is he like an actual professional?
So I looked it up once. Like he had his like own series kind of like down in Florida on some off network thing, and NESN was just essentially looking to have any other show other than like the Red Sox or Bruins, and they picked him up like 20 years ago, and he just hasn't gone anywhere since.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's actually funny because Charlie Moore's kid actually went to Merrimack for like I think like 1 year maybe, and they were saying like he's a little older than me, but when I was a freshman, one of the kids that he was a senior, he was telling us like, yeah, this Charlie Moore's kid like was at Merrimack and like their freshman year, like Charlie Moore pulls up like in the parking lot in like a Mustang, like he just like drops his kid off. They said he's like the biggest scumbag, dude. He's like such an asshole. Yeah. And he drops his kid off, and then he's like burning tires out of the parking lot, like just a complete douchebag. Like pretty much what you would think like Charlie Moore is. Like that's what he actually is in real life.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that he could be that successful, and he's playing second fiddle to the Boston Red Sox and the Boston Bruins. Like, yeah. I mean, some people must be watching. Like, there's got to be some people out there watching Charlie Moore angle. Like fucking, he's a world class angler. Like that's just hilarious. But
we gotta get Charlie
so funny
Moore.
When you see like Tim Wakefield or Kevin Millar on there or something like that, because they just like forced them into it. They did not want to be there.
I can see Wakefield kind of liking that because he's like a Florida outdoorsman.
I can see Wakefield liking that, but I can't see Wakefield liking Charlie Moore.
Charlie, if you're listening, we are sorry. We're not trying to burn a bridge. You're always welcome.
No. If you're listening, go fuck yourself.
Well, Charlie Moore is never coming on.
You're not invited on the podcast.
Charlie Moore. We're gonna have like a beef online. Jack's gonna start a beef with NASM and Charlie Moore. That's gonna be like a thing.
Wow, I legitimately wonder how many more fans we have on top of Charlie Moore, because at least we have people following our shit at this point.
The CDC has recommended you tune into Charlie Moore for updated COVID guidelines.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to know what Charlie Moore thinks about the vaccine.
I wonder if like we're gonna have like one of those things at like the bottom, like when we upload to Apple or Spotify this episode, if it's gonna have like a little like
Gonna
indicator,
have a
like
COVID warning.
it's gonna have like a COVID thing at the bottom of it. Just-
Warning,
Yeah.
misinformation. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Watching Charlie Moore cures COVID. That's just the thing.
That's true. No, that is a fact. This is medical advice. Kids,
Right.
if you're listening.
We are doctors.
Yep. We are doctors. This is medical advice. Give me all the warnings you want, Apple. Fucking shove it. Charlie Moore cures COVID.
Yeah, we won't accept anything else from the fake news liberal media.
Also do steroids.
Yep. Exactly. Steroids.
Unless if your
and-
name is Alex Rodriguez, you have done enough steroids.
That's true. He big steroid guy. Big time steroid guy.
He might be like one of like 10 dudes to do too much steroids.
Jack, what are you sipping on over there? You got the cup? Is that lean? You got lean in the cup?
Yeah, I got the lean going on here. Yep.
Nice. Got NyQuil and Sprite. You got the scissor.
I got a Molly Percocet.
Nice.
When the MLB is locked out.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
All right, what else we got?
Yeah, so it is the wonderful time of year where we re-rank the prospects in MLB for some reason. Because there's nothing else going on. That's literally the reason why we do it now instead of like in August.
I mean, nothing much going on. So the rankings did come out, the top 100 MLB rankings, and obviously the Sox prospect pool as well. So Jack, you want to get into that?
Yeah, I know it's nice actually having some names on the list compared to the last few years here.
That's right.
Where we might have had one or two guys. So there are 4 guys in the top 100 for us. Coming in at number 96, just sneaking his way in, is Nick York, who's kind of made his way through the system really fast here. Not sure if you guys are familiar with him at all, but he was a 2020 first round pick and kind of was a little bit overvalued at her slot, or at his slot, I should say, but he's done nothing but produce. He's hit well over 300 on every level and, hit for extra power. So as a second baseman, there's a path.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Nick York. The tools offensively definitely there. That middle infield going to be a couple California kids down the line. Definitely looking forward to. Now, obviously, all the prospects. I think York is the one that people are sleeping on. All these guys have potential to be top 25 prospects. 2 of them are. So definitely excited about it. Jack is leading the prospect charge. He's like the shows like Alex Spear, you know?
Right.
So
right.
I'm a big fan of the minor league, so I was really suffering the last few years when we literally had nobody to be excited about, or like guys like that, might make it up to the major leagues, but they're not going to be all-stars by any means. So.
Yeah. I mean, you were watching the KBO religiously, which you also have to be a pervert for.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's like the equivalent of having a foot fetish.
Exactly. I mean, you were getting up early for those games.
Well, it was not only I was getting up early, I was staying up late. I had no concept of time during the pandemic there. So I really just kind of did whatever because there was no reason for anything.
Jack is the prospects expert as well as the international expert. He knows everything about, Asian baseball, minor leagues, all that stuff. You're the guy.
Your kid's little league team, I know all about it.
Yep.
Jeremy needs to be benched right now.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Talk about like getting up early to watch baseball. The people that, like during the Olympic time, the people that got up at like 5 a.m. to watch Todd Frazier play third, those people are fucking perverts too. Those people All right.
I did for the
I did as well.
semifinal game,
I
but
did as well for the
that was
semifinal.
about it. Yeah,
And I also want to watch Cass's play, which was nice to watch him play. But dude,
that was fun.
like it's not
And
like
believe it or not, he's also on this list.
Yep, he is. Yeah.
But yep, jumping up a little bit at number 25, who actually made a jump up on the list is Jaren Duran, who we saw a bit of last year.
Speedy motherfucker.
Also, the chicks.
He looks like he's one of the kids on Polar Express, like that like grew up into an actual like adult.
Dude. Oh man, I could see that.
Yeah.
He's on the train. I could see him on the train right now.
Yeah, like Tom Hanks is speaking to him. It just feels right.
He was one of the kids in that
But
meme.
no, he actually made a jump there for a bit. He was like kind of in the 40s, 50s there for a little while. So even, despite kind of not the major league numbers that you might want to see, everybody, in the industry at least thinks, the talent's there and that he's going to be, a solid major leaguer.
Yeah. Gilberto, what were you saying before Jack jumped in there?
Oh, no. I was just making a comment about about the Polar Express, but we're done.
We're past the Polar Express.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm half deaf. I'm
it's okay.
the worst podcast co-host ever.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, Jaren Duran. I mean, I like him. I think obviously struggled a lot of strikeouts. Kind of like almost a Jackie Bradley feel a little bit. Had some pop, had some speed. No arm, no arm in the outfield. Brutal. So that's going to be an issue playing center field. I mean, I think that he has a lot of room to grow. I think he's still pretty raw, but out of the four in the top 100, I actually definitely think he's going to be the worst. That's my opinion, but I think he has potential to be a very good player. So we'll see.
So I think, this is kind of going to be his year to either prove that he is a major league player with the Red Sox or, maybe he's an everyday starter with another team like the Royals or maybe the Tigers or somebody like that. So he does have a lot to prove. The talent is there, which is, what you can only ask for in a prospect. But it was a little underwhelming, but you did see a lot of the flashes of him being a above average player just through his athleticism.
Yeah, I think he can be an above average player. I think he will be. It just really, like you said, it depends on this year. I don't think he's going to be the guy that like explodes onto the scene. I think he's going to continue to gradually get better. Although he had kind of a breakout year in AAA, I think that it's going to be slow progressions. Like I said, he needs to work on his throwing arm, cut down on the strikeouts, and I mean that's pretty much it. He's got the power. I mean, I think he can hit for contact. The line drive hitter, doubles hitter. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but then getting to the kind of probably best known name on our list, and we're even just touching on him a little bit here. Tristan Cass is coming in at number 18.
Yeah, coming in at number 18. I believe he's the number one ranked prospect here for the Red Sox. Obviously, a ton of talent here, especially at first base, which the Red Sox do have a need there. We'll see what happens obviously in the offseason, with Schwarber and filling that first base spot. But he's got a lot of talent, a lot of promise. He should be a very, very good major league player once he makes the full-time jump up, here in the system to Boston. But he's a guy that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, in a Red Sox uniform once he makes that jump up. And yeah, he's big. He's a massive prospect here. He's been extremely good in the minors. So he's going to be a guy that's going to be exciting, for the future of this Red Sox team.
Yeah, well, we're very fired up for Cassis. That's a no-brainer. Just to confirm, Meyer is number one, right? We didn't skip him.
Yeah, no, I was
okay.
getting to him next. Yeah.
All right, great.
So we still do have
He is.
one more guy ahead of him, but we'll get into it later on the Sox prospect rankings where they have each of our top 10 guys here. But
Yep.
yeah.
But Cassis, I think, is the guy that you look at as he's going to be, a surefire major leaguer for a long time. How he progresses at Fenway will be interesting to see. He's got a lot of like similarities to Devers, where he hits the ball, dead center, left center, opposite field power. Guy hits absolute tanks. He's going to be really fun to watch, and I definitely think he's the sole reason that the Red Sox aren't looking at like a long-term solution at first base, like like a Freddie Freeman or an Anthony Rizzo. I think that they're kind of keeping that spot warm for him. That's why I think Schwarber is such a great fit, not to get too off the rails, because you can plug in Schwarber for this year, and then when JD leaves next year, then Schwarber can slide over to DH. Then you got first base open. So nonetheless, though, very excited for Tristan Cassis.
Yeah, no, Schwarber doesn't make any difference in terms of Cass's future or even really advancement, whether that might be in 2022 or 2023. But he might be the best hitter in our system all around. His numbers from Double A and Triple A might not scream wildness, but he did hit 284 with a 395 on base and a 484 slugging, along with 14 home runs. But that was only in 86 games plus all the time he had to use for the Olympics, where he did good against international, talent of the best leagues of Japan and Korea and all these other places. So he's a guy that I think I'm the least worried about on this list here. I have no doubt that he's going to be an absolute stud in the major leagues and not too far away, because he's already gotten his cup of coffee in AAA.
Yeah, well said. I think that's important to remember. He is the most sure thing out of those guys, out of anyone in the Red Sox system. He is one of the most dynamic hitters in anyone on that top 100 list for all organizations. He is going to be a major league player. He is going to be a good major league player. It just comes down to, when that happens and how long it takes for him to progress.
Yeah. Before we get to the number one guy, Marcelo Meyer here, there was 3 footnotes that I wanted to touch upon between number 18 and number 9. Number 17 is Jason Dominguez with the Yankees. I thought he would be number 1 in terms of every prospect ranking list, depending on who you ask. You wouldn't give up Jason Dominguez for Adley Rutschman or Julio Rodriguez or Bobby Witt. So,
this Yason Dominguez, he's like if you took Bo Jackson and Derek Jeter and you put him in one, that's what I'm talking about with this guy.
Yo, putting your hat backwards just made that.
Yeah, gold chain out.
Yep.
Gotta get the shirt. Gotta go down a little bit more.
Yeah.
This guy. What do you pronounce that? Jason or Yason?
Yeah. Yason. Yeah.
It's the Gabagoo.
But what I found most surprising about this list, or just compared to what Yankees fans will tell you, is he is not even their number 1 prospect.
Yeah, is it Volpe?
At number 14 is Anthony Volpe, a shortstop who is ahead of him in terms of development. He's in high A ball compared to rookie ball. So I feel like I've heard almost nothing about this dude, but somehow he's better than the second coming of Mike Trout and Bryce Harper.
Yep.
According to actual industry experts here.
So how many did the Yankees finish with total? Just those two, right? Or Luis Gil?
They might have a few more. That's so those are their top two guys.
It says Luis Gil.
At
Oh, and
number
Oswald.
58, they
Oswald.
have Oswald Peraza, who is another shortstop up in AAA for him. So might be a little sooner.
I mean, some of these guys, you got to remember that this is going to
And
be a product.
Luis Gil. Yeah.
Yeah, Luis Gil. Yeah. This is going to be a product of the Yankees hype machine. I think that I don't think all these guys are going to be bad, but obviously some of these guys are overrated. Like the Dominguez hype is absurd. It really is. He got his
I
first.
think 14 is a very good place to rank him.
Yeah. He got his first like action in a like an organized game, or it was his first action in like I don't know, it was like high A. He got promoted, and he beat out a ground ball, like a weekly hit ground ball to shortstop. And Yankees Twitter was like on fire. They were like, dude, this guy is unbelievable. He's the greatest Yankee of all time. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. He hit like a weak grounder. He's 19 years old. He hit a weak grounder to short, and you guys are fucking freaking out. Like, you're a bunch of talk about perverts. Like, you're sitting around watching the box score of a single A, low A game to see fucking Jason Dominguez beat out a ground ball to shortstop. Like, fucking touch some grass. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Sick fucks.
We're really just putting the perverts on blast right now.
Well, people do things that are sick.
And we don't kink shame. We're a very
No.
kink friendly
No.
podcast.
Yeah.
The most, as
Big kink guy.
all our listeners know. All our listeners know. But, dude, if it's a nice summer night and you could be out, having a couple cold ones with your friends, and you're fucking sitting watching the box scores of Jason Dominguez to see what he did in his first high A at bat of his career.
Not even rookie ball.
It was rookie ball. Yeah. And then you see that he beat out a ground ball to shortstop, and then you don't go and tweet about that. You are pervert. You're a pervert. You're sick. You're sick.
Sick fucking puppies.
They are sick puppies. Those Yankee fans.
And we used to be the same way. We used to be like, oh my God, Henry Owens. Yeah. He's going to be the next Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah,
so
Henry
Owens.
Are
not too much better at the end of the day, but I think, you can only cry wolf so many times. And I think now we realize, to take some of these prospect rankings with a grain of salt almost.
Yeah.
Which the Yankees fans have not learned how to do.
No.
Well, I think Henry Owens is still going to be a great pitcher in the MLB.
Yeah.
Holding out hope for Jay Groom. He's having a little bit of a comeback. So Jay's been pretty good.
No, he is on the Sox prospects top 10, which we'll get to in just a minute here. The only name I wanted to mention before we get to Myers here is Jack Leiter at number 12. I think a lot of Red Sox fans were hoping for him, including myself. But Marcelo Meyer at number 9 is a top 10 prospect and has a chance to, be a number 1 prospect or a number 2 prospect if certain guys graduate and depending on the timeline of other guys as well.
Yeah. I think that Leiter would have been nice, but now that we got Dick Mountain in the fold for the next 15 years, I don't think that, Jack Leiter is really going to be needed. I don't think his services are going to be needed. Rich Hill's going to pitch another 15 years in the major leagues at a very, very high level. He's going to keep signing 1-year deals. It's going to be like a David Ortiz situation. And that's it. We don't need fucking Jack Leiter. Fuck Jack Leiter. Dick Mountain.
Dick Mountain
LLC.
Yep.
He'll still be.
You like that?
He'll still be at Foxborough. Everything will be right.
Yep. Divisional or wild card game is coming up, or whatever they end up in. Wild card game.
We need Rich Hill there.
He'll be getting kicked out, dude. He had an excuse to not get kicked out before. Imagine now that he's back on the Red Sox and don't touch him.
Dude, that's like the ultimate dream to just have like a free card. Like, I play for the Red Sox. You cannot kick me out of here, or else you're gonna look bad.
Literally.
Imagine being the guy that has to kick out Rich Hill from Foxborough.
You shot Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Should have shot you. But
yeah, shit.
Myers just scouting grades here. For some reason, the scouting grades go on a grade of 2 to 8 or 20 to 80, depending on who you ask, which is, makes sense because why would you want a 10 or why would you want a 90 or a 100?
Right.
But Marcelo hits a 60 for hit, 55 for power, 45 for run, 60 for arm, 60 for field, and a 60 overall. So you're looking at a guy who's very well rounded. Might not steal you a ton of bases. Who knows? He's only 19, but seems like he's about as solid of an all around guy as you could have drafted.
For sure, we haven't seen this many tools this early in a player's career since. Again, I want to repeat, this early in his career since Nomar. So Mookie obviously had those tools, but those weren't seen with Betts until he was like well into his Portland career. There was a whole feats of Mookie thing, and everyone was like, that's when everyone realized like, wow, we have something here with Mookie Betts. But this early in his career, there hasn't been someone with this many tools since Nomar. So
I mean, Xander was ranked a top 3 prospect and even a number 1, depending on who you asked at one point. So,
right.
And they were right. That was rightfully so. He has turned into a perennial all-star who could be on his way to Cooperstown if he continues what he does. But Nomar, I mean, there's nothing like it, and rightfully so.
Right. And Bogarts was when they signed him out of Aruba, his tools were hitting. That was what he was just like. He was a hitting prospect. Like the fielding was like, all right, well, if this kid, if he's too big for shortstop, then he'll play third. Like wherever he plays, we'll find a spot for him. But with Meyer, it's like he has all the tools immediately, and like have all 5 and have the grades that high on all 5 out of high school is, I mean, something you just don't really see ever, let alone, for someone who's 19 years old. So really excited, obviously. Best prospect in the draft. Very, very happy with him.
It just gets just gets your balls tingling, really, when you think about it.
It does. It tingles your balls.
But so I mean, obviously, the draft or the top 100 is kind of subjective here, depending on who you ask. So you'll see different rankings here. Even if you just go over to SoxProspects.com and their top 100 rankings, they even have our top 4 guys ranked in a different order here. So they actually have Tristan Cass as number 1, Meyer is number 2, Nick York is number 3, and then Jaren Duran is number 4, which, not being a full expert here, I actually kind of align with that a little bit more, but there's no wrong way to kind of put these guys almost.
Yeah, I agree. And anyone can have top flight prospects because if you just draft, early in the draft and you don't miss on draft picks, you're going to have guys that, are going to be in the top 100. All organizations do. I think where it really gets interesting now for the Red Sox organization is the depth you see. Like if you're on SoxProspects.com, right, the depth you see from like 5 to like as high as like 15, where that's something we didn't have for a lot of years. That depth, 5, 6, 7, 8, those are all guys that can be, major league all-stars, and then even beyond those guys as well. So that was missed. That was definitely missed.
Right. And that's something even like, Chaim Bloom was kind of brought in to do, was just really build that prospect pool. Obviously when Dombrowski was here, they went for it all, and rightfully so. They ended up with the World Series in 2018. So I mean, he's the guy to, come in here, build it back up, obviously keep the team competitive in the majors and, keep them, a World Series contender while continuing to build the prospect pool. And, he's been doing that so far. So, yeah, like you said, LeBeau, it's good to see that that prospect pool, become really deep, because obviously that hasn't really been the case, lately.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, he is the guy, and that's the whole purpose behind bringing in a guy like Chaim Bloom, where they feel like he can still keep the team competitive without gutting the farm system every 3 years. No shade to Dombrowski. I was a big fan of what Dombro did here. I thought the 2016 team underachieved and the 2017 team underachieved, and I thought that was pretty much poor management. Had nothing to do with Dombro. 2018, you saw what the team was built for, which I thought should have happened in 16 and 17, or at least more competitive than
Right.
getting swept twice in the ALDS.
No.
So
I love what Dombrowski did. Apart from, the Chris Sale trade where you got one of the best pitchers of all time back, name a prospect that he gave away that really ended up being an all-star. And you look at the return that we got for guys like Kimbrel and even Drew Pomeranz and a few other guys here, but he didn't give up that much to actually put together a World Series championship roster.
No, yeah, you can't look at any one trade and say, wow, Dombrowski really fucked this up. He really, dude, the Red Sox really lost this trade. They got gutted. Yeah, it was a lot of trades. I think it was maybe more like death by 1,000 cuts, where, yeah, you traded for a guy like Pomeranz who was relatively ineffective, and I mean that trade was horrible for both sides. You traded for Kimbrel. I mean, Manny Margot was fucking absolutely whatever. And then it was, obviously you got back Chris Sale, so you did give up two really good players there, but you got back Chris Sale. I mean, like you said, he's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And I would do that trade right now if I was given that opportunity right now where the Red Sox farm system is. I'd still do that. So you can't, like you said, there's not really much to say. He didn't really do a bad job.
No. But continuing on the Sox prospects list here, a guy that used to be a top 100 guy and is kind of fallen off a little bit here, Jeter Downs, who was a little underwhelming in Worcester last season.
Yeah. The real number two. The real Jeter.
I know, and I think that's why Red Sox fans wanted him to do well, is to just be annoying about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you're seeing that the real prize of that Mookie trade was Alex Verdugo, and not Downs. Obviously, Wong will probably be a nice player, but I think that Downs kind of is what he is. I think he has some potential. Can see him being the second baseman of the future, but I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar. I don't think he's probably ever going to be an all-star, but you never know what's going to happen. This is a big year for him, though. Will tell a lot this year.
Yeah. He had a nice Arizona Fall League this year, which kind of put him back in the discussion of him not being maybe a complete bust. I mean, if he's going to come up in 2022, it's probably going to be, somebody goes down. He can play second. He can play short. You can probably ask him to play third. He's athletic enough. I'm willing to bet. So, there's not a 100% opening for him here, but it doesn't seem to be anybody's secure job at second base. So who knows? Maybe he ends up being a guy for you there that fills in the gap until you're able to get somebody that's a long-term solution.
Sure.
Exactly.
But coming in at number 6 is Brian Baio, who's probably our number one pitcher. If you ask anybody in our system here, he spent 2021 in looks like Portland mostly with a 3.87 ERA. and he had 132 Ks and 95 innings. So he's a guy that, might be able to make his way through the system here. Maybe if it's not next year, but beyond that.
Yeah. Don't know much about him, but I know he had a pretty good run 2021. The prospects, the 6 through 10, 10 and higher. I mean, they're on SoxProspects.com. Definitely check them out. They're an excellent resource. I'm on that website probably twice a day, and in the season probably even more than that. So they're bookmarked on the top of my screen. They're a great resource. But
oh yeah.
And then kind of just rounding out the top 10 here, probably the coolest name in our system, Blaze Jordan, who hit 324 in Salem last year.
Laser.
Yeah, Blazer.
Imagine if your name was Blaze.
That's sick.
That's so awesome.
You can legally change your name. It's only mildly inconvenient.
That's right, Danger.
But, no. He still has a little bit to go. He's only 19, but has a bright future ahead of him. Coming at number 8, a guy that's kind of gone up and down a little bit here, Jay Groom. He actually ended up ending out the season okay. Still ended the year with a 4.81 ERA across 97 innings, but the talent's there. It's just, is he ever going to actually put it together?
Yeah, I like Jay. I'm rooting for him. I think that obviously he has the stuff. He has the ability. That's never a question. Just really see if he can put it all together. Like you said, I'm pretty confident, but we'll see. These prospects, it's hard. This is where like these 5 through 10 guys, like they could become superstars or they can be complete busts. You just have no idea.
Coming in at number 9, Gilberto Jimenez. And he hit 306 with the Greenville Drive last year. He's an outfielder. Looks like, he has a solid amount of power, bit of speed there. One thing that I wanted to touch upon him about is he was actually not protected in the Rule 5 draft this year, but nobody took him because he was only at such a low level. So shout out to Hein Bloom for being able to keep a guy and not have to add him onto our 40-man roster quite yet because, he might not be available until 2023 or maybe even 2024.
Shout out Heim.
Big Heim guy.
Yeah, big Heim guy. And then coming in at number 10 to kind of round things out is Brian Mata, who was probably our number 1 pitching prospect, but he underwent Tommy John surgery in April of 2021 here. So he's going to miss probably even a solid amount of the 2022 season. So when he is ready, he might not be too far away, depending on, how he recovers, because he was already in Worcester, but not ideal for one of your top pitchers.
Good. And that's been Down on the Farm, and then we can get some put in some farm noises, like maybe like some different like farm animal noises,
yeah, like
cow,
pigs and cows, yeah. What
a nice little like
banjo?
I said to get back here, my dip can. Something like that.
What sound does a pig make?
Yeah, no, I think Old McDonald is royalty free, so we can play that right now.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it?
I would assume that's public domain.
Yeah. Old McDonald. Wow, he got fleeced in that deal.
Yeah, what an idiot.
What a moron, dude. Didn't even get royalties.
Happy Birthday is now public domain. You don't have to pay for it anymore. I
Oh,
think,
really?
the listeners of this Red Sox podcast are very, worrying about that. But I want to assure our listeners that you can sing Happy Birthday and you don't owe anybody money.
Thank God. Thank God. It's about time.
Well, just so you're clear, you may still owe someone money, just not for the song. So for all the listeners
You
out
can
there,
give your money to us.
that doesn't mean you're debt free. Okay, I want everyone
Right.
to understand.
If you
You
sing,
still could owe money.
if you sing Happy
No,
Birthday
you're
to your,
dead.
if you sing Happy Birthday to your bookie, you don't actually owe them any money for your
Right.
losses.
You're-
That's a loophole that they don't tell you about.
Yeah, people do forget about that one. So get out there, start knocking on your bookie's door with the cake. Just get involved, touch the community.
Bet recklessly, and you know what? You don't have to pay if you lose.
Right. Exactly.
And that's gambling advice.
This is also gambling advice.
Yep. This is financial advice.
If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER for anonymous support. We want you to play responsibly.
If you have a gambling problem, don't would be my advice. This is financial advice.
1-800.
If you have a gambling problem, get better at gambling.
Double down. This is financial advice.
We are providing medical and financial advice on this podcast, so we're doing things.
It's a well-versed podcast.
If you have a gambling problem, please watch Hidden Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Oh my God. Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems. I believe that's called Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio, actually.
Yeah, no, the solid movie. I'm sorry. I get
That's
so
okay.
confused sometimes.
All
My
right.
Blood Diamond.
Yeah, but one thing that we did last week that ended up actually being pretty cool was, kind of looking back at a random season that we've had over the last few years. We had 2002 last time, right, fellas?
Yeah, 2002.
Yep.
2002.
All right, so we got the random number generator up here. My screen's not allowing me to show it because it hates me. So I'm gonna go and there we go.
There we go.
This is what my room actually looks like. So we're gonna go ahead and randomize it.
Oh.
It was white.
Yeah, so we're not gonna have a year here, but it does say 5. So the 2005 Red Sox.
Okay. All right. 2005 Red Sox. I was at their playoff clinching loss to the White Sox, which was very sad. That was the year of Edgar Renteria.
Oh, yeah.
The short-lived failure of Edgar Renteria. Matt Clement slipped in as an all-star that year. That was very interesting. Terry Francona gave him the nod for the all-star game. Yeah, disappointing team following the 04 team, but that's when they started to kind of develop like some problems with the pitching. Losing Pedro, Schilling aging. Matt Clement wasn't enough, they lost Derek Lowe. Yeah,
Ooh,
interesting
David
year.
Wells on that team too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yep.
David
Boom.
Wells.
Yep.
Bronson Arroyo.
Classic Matt Clement getting the All-Star nod with a 4.57 ERA at the end of the day.
Yep.
No, they won 95 games, came in second in the AL East, but you look at the top guys there, it's a lot of familiar faces and kind of not a lot after that.
Yeah. They lost to a great team in the playoffs. Problem is they got swept. It was just one of those years. They went 3 in barbecue, and that was it. But But from what I remember, that was a very good playoffs. The 05 playoffs. That was a very good World Series. The White Sox and the Astros. The Astros were absolutely loaded to the fucking gills that year. They were absolutely loaded, especially pitching wise. But Killer Bees, Berkman, Bagwell, Biggio, and then you had fucking Roy Oswalt, Andy Pettit, Roger Clemens, just absolutely dominant. So that was a good World Series. That was a good World Series. Sox, hey, it was what it was, you know.
So one guy that came over at the trade deadline that was just kind of our MVP, Tony Graffinino.
Yep.
He hit 319, 355 on base, 457 slugging. I mean, if he did not want to win the division and win the World Series, I don't know who did.
Yep. Tony Graffinino, who is my inspiration for every fantasy baseball name I've ever had, which is just Graffinino's Pizza. I was a big fan of Tony Graffinino. They had a hole, they filled it, they did a good job filling it, and that was pretty much it.
That was also kind of the first year we saw our first real taste of Kevin Youkilis. In 44 games, he had a 275 batting average, but a 400 on base and a 405 slugging. So the Greek god of walks name, kind of put him on there. And also on that team was second baseman in 47 games, Alex Cora.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. AC.
My manager.
Yeah.
Yep. No, good. Good. I like this segment. I'm a big fan of the segment. Get to relive it.
Brings you back.
I gotta be honest, I didn't miss many games back in the day. I was in fifth grade going into sixth grade. I was pretty locked into the 05 Sox. And 02. Although I was really young for 02, I remember a lot about that team too. That's like my first memory of the Red Sox.
One thing I didn't realize about that year is how fucking bad Curt Schilling was.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah, no. He started 11 games and pitched in 21 games in relief, but he had a 5.69 ERA and a 1.532 WHIP, along with a decent strikeout and decent walk rate, which gave him a solid FIP. But he was not very effective that year in only 93 innings, giving up 59 runs.
It was almost a blessing, though, because they were hanging on to Schilling to be like their front of the rotation guy. And then he kind of showed that he really didn't have it anymore. That very offseason, they went out and got Josh Beckett. So really, had Schilling not shown that he really didn't have it anymore, and that obviously Matt Clement wasn't really a good option, David Wells wasn't a good option. These were just stopgap guys. They said, like, we need to go get our next ace. Like, we need our guy. And it was Beckett. So thank God, really, that he did have a bad year, because 2 years later, the rest is, history. So
no, it doesn't really look like too many guys had really great seasons in the rotation. Yeah, Tim Wakefield with a 109 ERA plus, Bronson Arroyo with a 101 ERA plus, Matt Clement with a 99 ERA plus. David Wells with a 102 ERA plus, and a Wade Miller with a 92 ERA plus. So some slightly above average, some a little below / average there, but you didn't really have the rest of the depth that you needed to actually make it in the playoffs, even if you somehow made it through that first round.
No, that rotation's giving he's the ace vibes for sure.
I can't wait till we have that year.
Yeah.
Well, that was what, 2012, right?
No, that was 2014.
Oh, 2014. Yeah.
Yeah. That was after the World Series, and they didn't have anyone in the rotation. Or that was 2015. That was 2015 because that was the year after they traded Lester, and they had no one in the rotation. It was Masterson, Joe Kelly, Wade Miley,
Clay Buchholz.
Yeah, Clay Buchholz, and then I don't know, someone else. Maybe was it?
It could have been near you. Could have been any
Yeah.
one of our lists.
Yeah.
Could have been not Porcello, right? Was it Porcello maybe?
No, Porcello wouldn't have been quite yet. Maybe it was.
The year before.
Oh,
Porcello?
yeah, no, I think it was because he was so bad that year that I did not expect him to win a Cy Young Award
The very next year.
following season, yeah.
Yep.
We'll hopefully get to that year. That's a year that would actually be pretty good to dissect.
Yeah, those are the best ones because everyone remembers the championship years. Everyone remembers every single moment about those years. It's the years that they didn't quite, make it that are good to look back on because
And we'll
unlocks
have
a
some
lot of
straight up
memories.
shitty years too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like when 2014 comes up, that was just a bad. The 2014 was even a worse year than 2012 for me.
Really? Yeah. 2012, I think, was the worst because that was the first time I'd ever watched like a last place Red Sox team. So that was pretty tough.
That team was actually decent throughout the year. They just collapsed at the end. We'll hopefully talk about that one year because that one could be an entire episode on itself.
Yeah, for sure. Cody Ross walk-off home run.
Yeah. Please retweet.
All right, what else we got?
We got your hat that we've been dying to talk about here.
Famous lid.
You've been saving it for the podcast here.
The lid.
The lid.
So I got this as a Christmas gift, but mine my hat hair. But if you can see it, yeah, it's pretty tight.
It says not another Sox podcast with a microphone in the middle.
With the mic.
It's very chic. It's almost kind of like a trucker hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a trucker.
We're working on getting a couple of more for the hosts for sure. Maybe some late Christmas gifts, but also working on maybe opening up to the public if anyone maybe is interested. Then,
merch.
we'll see what we can do.
Merch,
yeah, you got to get the merch going. Get the fucking.
We got to get the Mountain Dew Schwarber shirts going.
Start mixing it up.
Mix it in.
Get the shirts. So fucking pop them titties out. Make some bad decisions.
Yep. Love that. We'll get the low cut shirts too for us.
Mix it up.
We'll wear it.
Get nasty with it.
I will wear the low cut shirt when it comes out.
Let's get fucking nasty.
No turtlenecks.
Yeah, we're having fun here. We're in a lockout. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
But I will be annoying you until I get a hat of my own.
We'll definitely get a hat going, circulating for the hosts. Faux show.
Yeah. No, and hey, maybe we'll raffle one off to one of our listeners here.
Yep.
All 8 of you.
Yep.
Yep. Hey, we're growing. We're growing.
Yeah, we are.
The numbers.
Growing.
The numbers
last
increase.
week. Now it's 8. It's going to be 9, and then so we'll get there.
Pretty soon we'll be at 10.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's focus on 9 at this point. We're still working our way up.
Yep.
Right. You take it easy.
Yep. Well, we made the people wait for it. This show is a long time in the making, which is fine, with the holidays and with the lockout and COVID. So, but we're gonna have stuff to talk about for sure. We'll find it. We're
gonna keep digging, and
we mentioned online we're gonna do our Don Orsillo episode at one point coming up here. I think that actually might be next week once we're able to kind of get everything gathered here. But no, I think everybody's just gonna want one of those episodes where we just have a little bit of fun with it and touch upon something that maybe some other podcast don't talk about here.
Right, like sex. Matt, what were you saying?
Oh, I don't even know. I completely forgot. My brain's fried.
It's all right.
It was something
about the weed.
Yeah. I gotta stop doing drugs. It's not good for you. It's not good.
Jack, please stop doing drugs. Jack, please.
Yes, Jack. I really.
I will stop the Benadryl.
Yeah, too much Benadryl, man. You got to lay off.
Would you see the Hat Man when you?
Literally, I was just thinking about that.
It's like when I take 7 Benadryl and see the Hat Man. What?
Another point of medical advice by Matt LeBeau. Take 7 Benadryls and you'll
Yep,
see
this
that.
is medical advice.
Okay.
Want to see the Hat Man?
There'll be like 3 people listening that get that out of like
Yep.
our 8. Yeah.
Yep. Well, actually, they all use Twitter, so I don't know. There might
Yeah. You know, it might just be a full circle here. But no, police and done or solo best moments.
Yep.
Yes. Jack, are you crying?
He's crying.
A little
totally
bit, yeah.
lost
No,
it.
that just got me. It got me. What can I
It
say?
gets you choked up.
Jack loves a
Very
good
emotional.
Twitter joke.
It was that I was literally just reading it today.
Yeah, me too. I read it today as well.
Yeah.
Imagine dreaming about the Hat
One
Man.
new segment that I wanted to introduce here is we don't quite have a name for it yet. It's real versus fake baseball names. So I got a list here of about 20 to 30 real baseball names and about 20 to 30 made up baseball names from either movies or just internet culture or whatever. And I'm going to test our other podcast host here and potentially interview guests to see, how well they do here. So we're going to start off with just 5 names and I'm going to tally it up to see who got it right, who got it wrong. And we'll declare a winner at the end of our podcast here.
Let's do it.
All right. So the first name here is Pete Lecock.
I'm gonna say that is a real name.
I feel like, we were doing this a little before the show, and I felt that, like, the really, like, weird, funny names, I feel like were real names. And then the normal names were just, like, fictional people. But that one, I don't know. I'm going to say that's a fake name.
That is a real name, so that is 1 point for Galveo and 0 for Lobo here.
Okay. I'll make a comeback.
Yeah.
Pete Lecock.
Up next, we have Ed Head.
Oh my God. Ed Head.
What is it?
Ed Head.
All right, Galveo, you're up.
This
you
is
go.
I'm gonna say this is not real.
I'm going to say that one is real.
This one is real. Ed Head was a real
Ooh.
baseball player.
Let's go.
We are tied up 1-1. And just for a reminder, you guys can agree if it is a real or a fake name.
Yeah,
right.
We'll just get a
yeah. Up next, we have Steve Nebraska.
I'm gonna say that's not real.
I'm going to also go not real.
Yeah, that is not real. That is from the Scout.
Okay.
So we are still tied here. Still tied.
Ed Head is an unbelievable name.
That is awesome.
Up next, we have Ray McShriff.
I'm gonna say that's real.
I'm going to say that's not real.
That is not real. That is from a meme. So LeBeau coming into the final round here takes a 2-1 lead. This is just like the MLS penalty kick shots.
Yep.
And the last one that we got here is Cal McClish.
I'm gonna say that's real.
I'm also gonna say that's real.
That is a real name. Yes.
Let's do
So,
it.
Matt LeBeau, your first winner here. 3-2, the final score. You guessed if the name was real or not. Yeah, so there's some real fucking dumb ones on here. I kind of gave some of the early ones, but there are some unbelievable real baseball names and also some ones that I wish were real.
I wish Italians were real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not.
Dude, The Sopranos is so good. Like, I mean, I just wish Italians in New Jersey were real.
Yeah. That would be cool.
I wish Gabagool had some right now. That'd be
Oh,
nice.
yeah. Little gabagoop. Gabagoo.
Carmela, get the Gabagool.
It's a gabagoo.
Where is it? Where's the freaking Gabagool?
Christopher. Oh, we'll have to make it.
You don't want to gabagoo.
We're gonna have to make a New Jersey trip at some point, Jack.
No.
The Lakeland Blue Claws.
Yep.
They're the New Jersey Blue Claws now, actually.
They represent the entire state.
We don't talk about them.
Very pretentious of them.
Jack, you don't have any swag from them? Like a hat, t-shirt?
I think I had two things.
Oh,
I had a hat that I cut the brim off of for a meme for my friend. And then I had a sweatshirt that I put in my dog's cage so that he can remember the scent of me.
Wow.
And that is what I did with my Lakewood Blue Claws merchandise. Thank you.
Wow. Well, not a great look for them.
Yeah. No, both of them are just torn up. It didn't happen. They don't exist. They're a figment of our collective imaginations. We live in a simulation.
Go Blue Claws.
Nope.
This is an anti-Blue Blue Claws podcast.
Yes. If you like the Blue Claws and you're listening, please unfollow us.
But rate us 5 stars before doing it.
Yes. Yes.
Rate us 5 stars, then unfollow us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we'll still have, some more stuff to keep you guys going through the off season here. I know it's a little dry right now. Literally no news coming through from either side. So keeping it light, keeping it fun, and just trying to make sure that we keep putting out content for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do have any, or solo moments like you mentioned, Jack, definitely send them our way. We'll be sure to include them in that episode. And yeah. So if you have anything, definitely send it our way for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna ride the Orsillo thing for a while.
Yeah.
We love Don. We grew up with him. Maybe we can even get like a petition going for bring back, Dio.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it.
It'll work.
Yeah, it'll work for sure. Or at least just get rid of Dave O'Brien, please. Just please.
Maybe we can start that petition.
Mike Monaco.
Yeah, we'd love to get him on. That'd be cool. But
we have sent you a DM. Please respond if you're listening.
Yes, which you are, obviously.
Don't leave us on red.
All right. I'm going to bed.
Yep. Yeah, it's getting late.
Yep, it's late, fellas. All righty. Tune in next week for another episode.
Peace.